How is it going to be in the next 50 years? What do you think? We're not going to be around.
Yeah.
Probably we will. Probably you will. Probably
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah, I'm 60, so I won't make to 110, but it is.
maybe you will. You never know.
Yeah, we're living longer now.
Yeah,
and that's
we are.
part of the population growth is that we're inherently living longer in addition to a few of the other that go into it. But the mountains are going to be vastly different. What's happening now in the ice-clad mountains around the world, the isotherm, so where it stays frozen and not frozen, is moving up. And so there's that ice that holds the mountains together is losing its strength. And then as but ice is destroying them too, because it's 10 to 12% larger than water. Mm-hmm. So when it goes in the crack and it freezes up, it pushes the cracks out and the rocks fall off and that freeze-thaw cycle. But when the ice isn't there, these mountains they're gonna fall down, slide off, and there'll be some pretty big mass wasting events, which is when you have a landslide or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Is it going to be more riskier down the road as we go along? The risk level is going to...
Yeah, if it's on a snow and ice route, if it melts out, it might be. It's hard to say. You can't say it's abroad. It'll be more dangerous. So, but if it all melts out, then there's no ice. Then you're rock climbing. That's not going to happen in 50 years, but where we are now, until we figure out our carbon conundrum and how much fuel we use, and now we understand climate science and what's going on this planet, that we have to. And that's why the idea with the the hydro monster, the water maker.
No, let's jump into that. That's something that I 100% wanted to go ahead and talk about. It's so interesting, right? I remember sitting. No, it's just coming back to me. I remember sitting down with Kamirita Dai. I'm sure you're friends with him, right?
Yeah.
He's a legend. And I remember sitting down with him, and he was telling me that, Sanjay, the same path that I took when I was climbing in the first few expeditions, now it's different. Like now it's full of, if I'm not mistaken, he was telling me there's no glacier there. Like it's different, and then every time I go up, it's different. Like for a certain time, I was used to. When you're walking the same path, I'm sure I'm sure you have waypoints. I don't know how to say it. I'm not a mountaineer, but waypoints, or you have a fair enough idea because you've been there before. Yeah. But now things are different. Like from the beginning of my expedition, beginning of my journey in mountaineering, and now every time I go up, it's different. Like the mountain has changed itself in a span of 2 decades. And in another 5 decades, I'm just putting 5 decades a number. Maybe we can just go like a century. Things might be completely different. We might not even have the rocks and the glaciers and the snow at all. Is that possible?
Yeah, probably not in 5 decades, but yeah, it's certainly. And if they did a study at the South Pole in 2019 with a research expedition studying the ice, and it's not replenishing there. So there's not young ice. The ice that they're finding is 1,000 years old. So when you get these warm days, when it rains at 8,000 meters, it just changes the whole characteristics of the mountain.
All around the world.
All around the world. Yeah, they're especially the high altitude, low latitude, which is what the Himalaya is. And then you have high latitude, so that's Alaska and Norway and Siberia, places like that. There's greater temperature fluctuations and warming. So climate change is more active in Montana, where I'm from, than it is, say, in Kansas or something like that. Because it's a flat place and things aren't quite. There's not that warming and that change in it. So,
how is it going to be towards our side of the planet?
Towards
our side of the planet, the Himalayan region right here.
Well, it's the water tower of Asia. So 5 of the world's great rivers and support so many between India and Nepal. And there's still going to be, the glaciers hold the water and they let it out slowly in the in the summer. So when you look at rivers that don't have a lake or a glacier on it, then the water can be seasonal flow. So the immediate, as things warm up, there'll be more runoff, and that's the risk of a glacial lake outburst flood.
Yeah.
And that is the water that comes up between a terminal moraine that was pushed there 14, 20,000 years ago, last surge in ice, and then it backs up, and then water fills up, and then there's a trigger, which might be an earthquake, and you have a flash flood. So being aware of that and assessing how much water is held in these high alpine lakes and what the problems are with that is sort of the near term. But then as it dries up, how will that be? And water is clean water is essential for life, and we take it for granted. Same thing with air, but we have to kind of balance it out and realize our impact on air and water.
तपाईले हाम्रो क्लिप एकदमै एन्जोय गर्नुभयो होला। अब पुरै भिडियो हेर्नको लागि चाहिँ युट्युबमा सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला। This program is brought to you by Vianet Studios.